Soccernomics by Simon Kuper and Stefan Szymanski. Many people have a common belief that soccer clubs run a huge commercial sector and make the highest financial revenue, compared to many other sectors, but the truth proves totally the opposite. For example, many people haven't heard of United Natural Foods, which works as a distributor of organic food in the United States. Although United Natural Foods is making more financial profits than any soccer club in the planet. During the 2015-2016 season, Manchester United was the most revenue-generating club, with €689 million. However, these revenues were less than one-tenth of what United Natural Foods generated, or 0.2% of what Walmart Company generated, which is the largest food distributor in the United States. Economically, most soccer clubs may be compared to the size of one supermarket. In 2016, the average sales of the American company Costco, which is specialized in the wholesale of consumer goods, reached approximately $159 million, while the average revenue of the largest European clubs, consisting of 700 clubs, was less than $25 million in that year. The reasons for the poor revenues are that soccer clubs are simply not run as a business. There's another important factor in the equation of soccer clubs, which is wins and titles. If Barcelona's soccer club wants to maximize its financial profits, then it will need to reduce the players' wages significantly. Therefore, the 15th place in the Spanish league will be the highest place that Barcelona aims to achieve, while ensuring the achievement of financial profits for the club's treasury. Other clubs like Athletic Bilbao, their most profitable position will be financially in the second league, where they could save a great deal on wages. Bit to remember: contrary to the common belief, soccer clubs are not a huge business compared to other companies. In the summer of 2017, soccer clubs around the world spent nearly $5 billion on players' transfers. These astronomical numbers often proved its failure in achieving sports success. A lot of studies indicate that there's no strong relationship between spending on transfers and players' performance. In contrast, there's a very strong relationship between spending on players' wages and their performance in the team. A study was conducted between 2007 and 2016 to measure the correlation between clubs spending on players' wages and the average team's position in the league. Manchester United spent 3.4 times the average of English clubs spending on wages, so its average league position was the third. On the other side, Milton Keynes Dunes spent about 0.12 times the average on wages, so its average league position was the 43rd. The explanation for this relationship is that high wages attract stars with high performance. A club like Real Madrid can afford Cristiano Ronaldo's wage expenses, unlike, for example, Getafe Club. So, if you have Ronaldo and others like him, you will win many matches. There are exceptions to this rule, of course, when Leicester City won the English Premier League with the 15th highest wage bill. These exceptions can happen in a single season, not in the long term. And this is evident in the following season, when Leicester City fell back again to the average position, and clubs that spend the most returned to the forefront, and some of Leicester's most prominent stars moved to the richer clubs. Bit to remember: there's no relationship between spending on transfers and sports success. Rather, we should focus on players' wages. Why is it that towns like Nottingham and Dortmund have succeeded to win European Cups, while great capitals such as London, Paris, Rome, and Moscow never succeeded in winning, until London's Chelsea finally managed it in 2012? There are significant connections between the success of soccer clubs, industry, investment, as well as centers of political power. In the 1950s and 1960s, Spanish and Portuguese clubs won 8 of 11 European Cups. These clubs were receiving support and direct investment from political leaders such as Franco with Real Madrid and Salazar with Benfica. But after the 1960s, the power of capitals began to diminish as political systems changed. With the exception of Real Madrid, which maintained its strong footballing base. Since that time, the clubs of small cities and industrial regions began to dominate the European Cup. In 1800, Manchester United didn't have a strong presence or popularity in the sports field. But the Industrial Revolution had a great role in changing that, as by 1900, Manchester had become the 6th largest city in Europe with its entry into the industrial field. Immigrants became the largest segment of the population of Manchester, and of course, these immigrants were looking for work. Until most of them found that soccer is a way to fill the void and perhaps to make a living. With this social and economical change, regional and industrial city clubs such as Manchester, Barcelona, Turin, Munich, Dortmund, Porto, and Eindhoven won 41 out of 55 European Cups from 1963 to 2017. But to remember, there are significant connections between the success of soccer clubs and the economic, political, and industrial conditions of cities. Many European players, from Rooney to Zidane, Ronaldo to Ibrahimovic, came from poor neighborhoods in Europe. One of the most important reasons for their success was that they had enough time to practice and play soccer. In the book Outliers, the famous author Malcolm Gladwell explained the 10,000-hour rule, which states that for anyone to achieve world-class ability in any field of any particular profession or skill, he must practice it for a period of not less than 10,000 hours. Poor European kids are most likely to reach this number of hours of exercise. This is because they live in cramped apartments and spend most of their free time playing outside the house. Their modest standard of living didn't allow them to practice the hobbies of the upper class of society, so they found their way in soccer. But despite their modest level, European kids, unlike their African and Latin American counterparts, had a better diet and a better medical care. So they had a greater chance to achieve global success in soccer. But to remember, modest living conditions helped poor European kids to become great soccer stars. Thanks for watching. Please follow our social media accounts. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel.